my name's Nathan. I'm head of digital for Boxraw. We are a boxing and sportswear brand, and our mission really is to be the reason why the world gets into boxing. To summarise the experience, the whole process has been very one-on-one. I think I've had more face-to-face communication with yourselves than I have with any other tech partner that we've used in the past, which has just made the whole process of onboarding to training to then using the platform day to day easier than a lot of other tech platforms I've used, but also just way more pleasant. Yeah, it's nice knowing that you've got individuals there that you sort of build a rapport with over time, and then if there's ever an issue, who you're speaking to directly, and you know they're looking out for you as well, rather than just being treated like a ticket. My experience with support echoes the answer to my previous question really about it being personalised. We onboarded during a phase where advanced commerce was very new. I don't think there was many clients onboarded at the time. So there wasn't so much of a formal process, but there was lots of face-to-face support just to really walk us through it, like baby us through it really, to help get everything set up in a way that we were happy with. On a more day-to-day basis, the support is really quick to reply. If there's ever a period of time where they've needed more time to get back to us, they've let us know straight away rather than keeping us in silence, so to speak. And there's been one or two cases where I've needed out of hours support. I think there's one case where it was like 11 p.m. on a Saturday. I ended up getting through to Andre, who then got me on a call straight away with Andy and Dom, and then we were working through an issue together, and everything got resolved. And it turns out the issue wasn't even related to advanced commerce, it was something else which was conflicting. But just to that point, like, I know that I have so much confidence in the system, but I know that if there was ever an issue, that I wouldn't be left out, you know, to dry by advanced commerce because it would be a weekend or because it would be out of office hours. I feel like they respect what I need from the system to support the business, and they wouldn't want to let me down. It feels more like a partnership than a typical just sort of support experience. Looking at the client services, all of the support has been very technical, and I think the client support services help fill in that gap of strategy, using the platform day to day, looking at the data and understanding like how to get the most out of it. Katie in particular, because she comes from a background where she's essentially doing the role that I've done, loads of hands-on experience, and it's you can tell like she knows what she's talking about rather than she's just been trained up to, you know, read boilerplate stuff that I can find online. Just having that one-on-one support there as well, they learn about your business, your specific business needs, niches, and then all of the feedback is relevant to that niche, which really helps. Starting top level, the functionality from advanced commerce allows us to get really granular with what we want. So there's many different facets and pieces of tech within the system that supports that, but as a whole, like having that really detailed level of just output essentially. With those systems we've used in the past, that might have been more of an out-of-the-box solution that's really, you know, a two-step setup, but you can only do very limited things. If there's any very niche things to our business needs that we need to do, we won't be able to use it. And that was one of the biggest selling points of advanced commerce, is just having complete and utter control of everything. And it can be as automated as you want, and it can be as manual as you want, or you can find a balance, which is where we're at the moment. Our business as a whole sells a lot of sportswear, but there's also our equipment side of the business. And although that all falls under boxing, the experience and the customer are very different. On the more traditional sportswear side of things, it allows us to merchandise a site with what you typically expect. You're looking at bestsellers, top converting, etc. But then when it comes to the equipment side, there's features that enable us to essentially split collections into apparel and then equipment, so we don't, you know, ruin like the experience which the majority of customers want. But then when we do have the smaller percentage of customers who do want this equipment, we can make sure that the website is merchandised in a way which makes the most sense for them. A big challenge before advanced commerce was creating a blend that took into account all of the different metrics that we needed to. So rather than just relying on generic AI where you don't really have much visibility of what's going on behind the scenes, we've essentially created our own blend which focuses on the metrics that we want to focus on as a business, which again, like looking at that automated solution, it does everything we need it to, and I've got more confidence in knowing what, you know, how it's working behind the scenes. And then even having things like the monitoring tools. So if I ever get challenged, you know, from the CEO, for example, is asking why certain products are in certain positions, I know why it's there, but I can show him via that scoring system, like, this is why this product is in this position. And then we, you know, if you do want to override it, it's not a case where you have to solely on the automatic merchandising. You've got that tiered level of priorities, and if you need to manually pin things and manually override things, then that's still an option too. Stock has been a big challenge for the business. As we've scaled, all of our money goes back into the business to try and buy more stock, but in more recent times, it's been a bigger challenge for us, just keeping things in stock essentially, because demand is so high. So a lot of our merchandising strategies are based around stock and promoting things which are essentially available, but not only available generally, available in the sizes that we know are the most popular. And that's something very specific that we couldn't accomplish with any other tool. And it's something like on a personal level, as the guy responsible for merchandising on the site, it would come down to me. So having a tool like Advanced Commerce allows me to do what I know I need to do, which makes the rest of the business happy, but also in a way which doesn't require a lot of manual work on my side. And I can set something up now where it's mostly automated. I've got to do very minimal manual checks, and I've got a lot of confidence in the system that at least for like 80% of the cases, stock's going to be prioritized and customers going to see things which are available. During our peak sale, so specifically Black Friday, we've had Black Friday sales in the past where a lot of the merchandising work's been manual and pinning products in a specific position. The disadvantage of that is when stock moves so quickly during a sale and things become out of stock, or stock starts to become more fragmented, it just requires so much manual observation and upkeep where it just wasn't sustainable. Whereas with graphene, because a lot of it is now more automated and we have confidence in the automation, it's made sale periods, at least from my perspective, much more relaxed. And Black Friday this year was the smoothest Black Friday we've ever had from a non-site perspective. And I think graphene is definitely a big part of that.